You walk through the door after a long day, and before you can even put your bag down, your dog is already there, tail wagging. Eyes locked on you, body full of excitement, like you're the best thing that's ever happened to them. You smile. You bend down. You hug them tightly. Maybe you grab a treat. Maybe you speak in that high, happy voice. And in that moment, you genuinely believe something. You're a good dog owner. You love your dog. You show it. You care. But what if I told you that one of those exact moments, the ones that feel the most loving, might actually be the moment your dog feels the most uncertain? Not because you're doing something obviously wrong, not because you're neglecting them, but because you're loving them in a way their brain doesn't understand. And that misunderstanding? It slowly turns into stress, confusion, even fear. Stay with me, because by the time we get to number 4, most dog owners stop nodding and go completely silent, because that's where it hits. If you truly care about your dog, not just their behavior, not just whether they listen, but how they feel when they're alone, when they're scared, when they look at you for safety, then you need to see this differently. So before we go any further, make sure you subscribe, because everything here is built around one thing, helping you understand your dog's emotional world in a way most people never do. Because science has already made this clear, your dog is not just reacting to you, they are experiencing you. Studies in canine cognition show that dogs have an emotional capacity roughly similar to a 2-year-old child. That means they don't just feel excitement, they feel insecurity. They don't just feel attachment, they feel loss. They don't just trust, they can lose that trust. And the most dangerous part is this. The things that hurt them the most are not the things you think. They're not the obvious mistakes. They're the small, everyday habits done with good intentions that slowly reshape how your dog sees you and the world around them. And that's the problem, because what looks like love to you can feel very different to them. Number 1. Why does your dog get tense the moment you walk near their food bowl? You might think it's simple. Maybe they're being possessive. Maybe they need to learn discipline. So you test them. You reach in, move the bowl, take it away for a second. You believe you're teaching control. But what's actually happening is much deeper. Inside your dog's brain, this isn't a lesson, it's a threat. Dogs are wired by evolution to treat food as survival, not comfort, not routine, survival. Their nervous system doesn't understand that another meal is coming in a few hours. It reacts to what's happening right now, and right now, their resource is being taken. That creates a scarcity signal, and scarcity creates guarding. So your dog learns something you never intended. When you're near my food, it's not safe. That's how food aggression begins, quietly, subtly, long before a growl or a bite. If you want the opposite, you have to change the meaning of your presence. Walk by and add something better, a piece of chicken, a treat they love. Teach their brain this. When you come close, good things happen. That's how trust replaces tension. Number 2. You think this makes your dog happy, but it doesn't. You walk through the door and your dog explodes with excitement, and you match it. You raise your energy, your voice gets higher, you feed the chaos. It feels like connection. But what happens after? They can't calm down. They follow you. They whine. They stay elevated. Because their nervous system just spiked, and no one showed them how to come back down. Dogs don't need you to mirror their excitement. They need you to regulate it. When every reunion becomes intense, your dog starts living between emotional highs and lows. Leaving becomes stressful. Waiting becomes stressful. Coming back becomes overwhelming. That's how anxiety forms. Instead, try this. Come home quietly. No eye contact. No words. Let them settle for 60 to 90 seconds. Then greet them calm, slow, grounded. You're not reducing their happiness. You're giving them stability. And stability is what actually makes a dog feel safe. Number 3. You've accidentally destroyed the safest place your dog had. The crate was supposed to be their sanctuary, a den, a place where nothing bad happens. But then one day, they did something wrong. And you pointed. Go to your crate. In that moment, something changed. Because dogs don't separate location from emotion, they associate them. So now the crate isn't safety, it's rejection. It's where they go when you're upset, when they've disappointed you, when something feels wrong. And once that association is built, the behavior follows. Whining, scratching, avoidance. Not because they hate the crate, but because the crate no longer feels safe. If you want to fix it, you have to rebuild the meaning. Make it neutral again, then positive. Feed them near it, toss treats inside, leave the door open, let them choose it. Because a true safe space is never forced. Number 4. This moment determines whether your dog truly trusts you. Your dog is scared. Maybe it's thunder, maybe fireworks, maybe something you don't even notice. They're shaking, hiding. Their body is flooded with stress. And you laugh. Maybe it feels harmless, maybe it even looks a little funny. But inside your dog's body, this is real fear. Their heart rate is elevated, cortisol is rising, their brain is scanning for safety, and the one being they depend on isn't helping. Dogs read emotional responses with incredible accuracy. When you respond to fear with amusement, they don't understand humor. They understand absence of protection. You saw me, and you didn't help. That's how trust erodes. Not in dramatic moments, but in small ones like this. Because confidence in dogs doesn't come from being brave. It comes from knowing someone has their back. So when your dog is afraid, don't overreact. Don't dismiss it. Just be steady. Calm voice, relaxed presence. Let them come to you. That's how you build a dog that feels safe, even when the world isn't. We're halfway through, but what comes next is even more subtle and far more common. Number 5. This is the most common way people show affection, and it's misunderstood. You reach out and pat your dog on the head. It feels natural, but to your dog, it's not always comfortable. A hand coming from above enters a blind spot. It mimics a dominant gesture in canine communication. Even in a loving relationship, it can trigger a small, involuntary tension response. Not enough to react, but enough to register. And when it happens repeatedly, that tension becomes part of your interactions. Most dogs don't love it. They tolerate it. Watch their body. Do they lean in, or do they go still? Blink, turn slightly away? That's the difference between enjoyment and tolerance. If you want real bonding, change where you touch them. Chest, shoulders, along the side. Slow strokes. That's what releases oxytocin, the hormone that builds trust. Not more affection, better affection. Number 6. This is what turns your dog's world into chaos. One day, the couch is allowed. The next day, it's not. Sometimes jumping is cute. Sometimes it's punished. To you, it's normal. To your dog, it's unpredictable. And unpredictability creates anxiety. Dogs don't think in rules the way humans do. They think in patterns. This behavior leads to this outcome. But when the outcome keeps changing, the pattern disappears. And when the pattern disappears, your dog has no way to understand what's expected. That's when confusion shows up as bad behavior. Ignoring commands, acting differently with different people, seeming stubborn. But it's not stubbornness. It's uncertainty. If you want a calm dog, give them a predictable world. Same rules, same responses, same expectations from everyone. Because clarity is what allows your dog to relax. Number 7. Your dog is talking to you, and you're not listening. They paw at you. You ignore it. They nudge your hand. You move it away. They stare at you, waiting, and nothing happens. But here's the truth. Every one of those actions is communication. That's your dog using their full vocabulary. And when that communication fails repeatedly, something changes. Some dogs escalate. They bark, they chew, they demand attention. Others do the opposite. They stop trying, and that's far more dangerous. Because a dog that stops communicating has learned something powerful. My signals don't matter. That's learned helplessness, and it quietly breaks the relationship. You don't have to respond every time, but you do need to acknowledge them. A glance, a word, a small touch. That's enough. That's how you tell your dog, "I see you." Number 8. Shouting doesn't teach your dog anything. It feels natural. They did something wrong. You react. Your voice gets louder. But your dog isn't learning what you think they are. They're not connecting your reaction to something they did earlier. They're connecting it to right now. To your face, your energy, your presence. So instead of learning behavior, they learn to associate you with unpredictability or fear. And here's the critical part. A dog in a fear state cannot learn effectively. Their brain is focused on survival, not understanding. So shouting doesn't just fail. It blocks learning completely. If you want real change, the sequence matters. Mark the behavior calmly. Redirect immediately. Reward the correct choice. That's how dogs learn. Not through fear, through clarity and timing. Number 9. You think you're setting a boundary, but your dog experiences something else. They come close. They lean into you. They seek contact. And you push them away. To you, it's space. To your dog, it's rejection. In their world, physical contact is connection. It's how they bond, how they belong. So when you push them away, even gently, the message isn't "not now." It's not you. Over time, this creates insecurity. Some dogs become overly clingy because connection feels unstable. Others withdraw because they expect rejection. Neither is healthy. Instead, teach boundaries with clarity. Use cues like off or place. Guide them, and when you do allow contact, make it intentional. Because connection isn't about constant closeness. It's about meaningful closeness. Number 10. This is the root of most behavior problems. Dogs are not meant to live in isolation. They are social animals wired for connection, interaction, shared experience. So when a dog spends most of their day alone, with no stimulation, no engagement, no social outlet, they don't just get bored. They accumulate stress. And that stress has to go somewhere. Chewing, barking, destruction, anxiety. These aren't personality flaws. They're symptoms, signs of needs that aren't being met. The solution isn't complicated. It's intentional. Walks that allow exploration, not just movement. Play that matches their energy. Training that engages their mind. And most importantly, time with you. Undistracted, present, real. Because your dog doesn't just live in your house. They live through you. And everything they feel about the world comes from that connection. So here's the truth. None of these behaviors exist in isolation. This isn't about one mistake, one moment, or one bad habit. It's about something much deeper. It's about how you show up in your dog's life every single day. Because your dog isn't analyzing your intentions. They're experiencing your patterns. The way you respond, the way you touch them, the way you react when they're excited, or scared, or trying to reach you. All of it adds up. And over time, it forms one simple belief inside their mind. Am I safe with you or not? That's what everything on this list comes down to. Not perfection. Never perfection. Your dog is not asking you to get everything right. They don't need you to be flawless. They need you to be consistent. They need you to be calm. They need you to understand them. On their terms, not yours. Because here's the part most people don't fully realize. To you, your dog is part of your life. But to your dog, you are their life. You are their safety, their structure, their emotional anchor in a world they don't fully understand. And that means every interaction matters more than you think. The way you walk into a room, the way you respond to their fear, the way you acknowledge or ignore them, it's all shaping how they feel, not just how they behave. So if this made you see your dog a little differently, share this with someone who loves their dog the same way you do. And tell me in the comments, which one of these surprised you the most? Because awareness is where everything changes. And if you want to build a deeper, calmer, more trusting relationship with your dog, make sure you subscribe. Because this isn't just about training your dog. It's about finally understanding them